Race realism in this context is a pseudoscientific belief that there are distinct biological differences between racial groups that justify discrimination, racial superiority, and segregation. This belief is also referred to as scientific racism, biological racism, racial theory, and polygenicism. Basically, they believe that racial groups are a different breed of human that carry distinct physical and psychological traits. They believe that black people were stronger and mentally less capable, Asians were smarter, and white people were the perfect blend. And in modern day, this ideology still persists in a small but vocal online community, mostly on Twitter, the dump site of 4chan, and niche online forums. And this group has only grown more prevalent with culture war shit and the rise of termly onlineness and isolation. Because yes, isolation does make you more prone to developing extremist beliefs. And the internet thriving off of anger and engagement doesn't help with that.
Denied! Stop getting pregnant! Stop!
Now, most of us who didn't grow up on the yeehaw side of the barn should know by now that race is a social construct with little to no scientific bearing to back it up. Race begins and ends at a very surface level. It's like people with detached earlobes or blonde hair and blue eyes. It's only a surface level difference. When people say there's only one race, the human race, they mean that literally. Like there isn't a chocolate or milk gene. It's also important not to confuse race and ethnicity, as they are two different things. Race refers to physical and biological characteristics, and ethnicity refers to cultural and geographical location, but they're often used interchangeably, so it really doesn't matter.
I'm not a throat goat.
Oh no, it's okay.
Mom, I am not a throat goat.
No, you're a throat goat.
The common evidence racialists use is the IQ differences compared to white and Asians, crime statistics, and the existence of hood culture. Because biological race is the only explanation for these differences because their genetics determine everything about you and absolutely nothing else. What do you mean environmental upbringing can negatively affect the upbringing of a culture? Stop being so silly. That's just an excuse crimers use to get away with their degeneracy. White people are the real oppressed people of this nation. Yeah, I should go without saying that environmental factors play a huge role in the attitudes and behaviors of a group, hence why every country has some form of hood culture, because if you can't discriminate on skin color, you can discriminate by class and screw over some of your own people in the process. To put it simply, a negative environment creates a dysfunctional culture, and a dysfunctional culture creates problems for everybody. It's as simple as that.
Did you just... Yeah. Did you just smack me with your dick? Yeah, I sure did. I just smacked you with my dick.
Now let's just say hypothetically race realism is true and there are biological and psychological differences between racial groups. Will that still justify prejudice and discrimination? No. At the very most, it would justify affirmative action programs for minority groups and they just be treated like neurodivergent people. Like the fact that you have various ethnic groups in high education positions and capable of doing well proves that environmental factors can stomp any biological destiny and race still being irrelevant. So essentially nothing will change except for the fact that you just replaced environment with genetics. It's crazy that not even their own ideology justifies the results they want. Like that's kind of hilarious. And the funniest thing is that race realists are aware of this, hence why they often resort to posting crime statistics and black people committing crimes because they know that their ideology isn't enough to justify the results they want. Because their ideology is not driven by logic, it's driven by emotion, which brings me to my last point.
I'll pull out my fucking blick. I'll pull out my fucking blick. I'll pull out my fucking blick. And I'll pop your bitch ass.
Now, why would someone fall under this ideology? Now, it's easier to say they're just hateful people, but I feel that's a very lazy answer, and it goes more deeper than that. Remember in my last video where I created a chart explaining the cycle of racism and how a negative culture affects other people, which leads to more prejudice, creating this negative back and forth culture? As I was scrolling through tweets and forums, I've noticed a consistent theme around their posts: hood culture, entitled victimhood, and pattern recognition. From their perspective, they see black people as the ones who commit crimes and play victims and call others racist for calling them out, which leads to resentment. And given how shitty modern activism is, which is just victimhood and demonizing others under the guise of social justice, you can understand why these people get so angry. Like to them, they see it as a double standard. They're being called racist for existing, while the other people get the pass. Which is true to an extent. White liberals love to call everything racist and sexist, yet I've never seen a single one of them call out sexism and homophobia in the black community. But I'll save you the rant and just direct you to this video.
Motherfucker, what? Forgot the milk! Forgot the milk! You gonna learn today!
My solutions are pretty simple. The black community needs more self-awareness and accountability, everything in the modern activism video, and for racists, if you want to get rid of crimers, then advocate for policies that help the lower class, improve education for low-income areas, because black people aren't the problem, it's hood culture. And if you want to get rid of hood culture, work to get rid of the hood. Even under your ideology, the fact that good ones exist proves that environment stumps any biological determinism, and pushing for better environments significantly improves your life in more ways than one. But anyway, that's all I want to talk about. Bye.